All right, we're away. Good morning. Angus Barrett here. Rebecca's already taken it. Oh no, you put your beanie back on. With Rebecca. Rebecca's in on this now because Kirsty's come out here and said we want to get a video on rains. And so we've got Rebecca in it. I just put my coffee down. All right, better not drink it. They brought me 2 pairs of reins. And they've said, why would people ride in these? So is that the question we want to answer?
Yes. Why would someone buy 7-foot or 8-foot reins?
The person who would buy 8-foot reins would buy 8-foot reins because they're a foot longer than the 7-foot reins. And yeah, and you might want an extra foot because length matters, folks. All right.
No, but who's going to use them?
Who's going to use them? Okay, so if you're riding in a big long rein, right, you're riding around the paddock, or not around the paddock, let's go, okay, so an 8-foot rein, you would want an 8-foot rein if you're, say, showing or reining, and you've got a big loose rein, you're riding, you've got a shank bit, right, so you've got plenty of stop on your horse, and you've got lots of weight down there, and you're reining, or you're cutting a cow, you're in a cutting competition, you want a long rein.
So that it sits down.
Well, so because you've got a lot of you're showing, so you're showing that you've got you're not hanging onto the bit, so it's not a control rein, but you want a heavy rein so that you can steer with your neck rein.
So less control on the bit of your horse.
No. Still control of the bit of your horse, not less, because you've still got it. You've just got a longer rein, so you don't lose any control. You just have more tail to deal with. But you can ride a longer rein and you can still have a bit of rein down here. Whereas if you got your 6-footers and you're trying to drop a lot of rein down, you'd be hanging onto the buckle. Okay, so if I was taking a pair of 8-foot reins to go and do something, I would be going to show. Okay? Or I'd be riding a giraffe. But I'm not riding any giraffe, so I'm going to go and show. Okay? So I want a nice, heavy, dense leather. Right? Something like this.
Yep. All our leather's really good.
You've talked about all the leather. We're not allowed to talk about leather anymore, folks. This is why Rebecca's here, because I'm getting worded up. But the leather's very important.
Yes.
And the weight at the end is very important because that hangs. And the weight at the bit's very important. So when you are riding long, you've got a long rein and the rein's hanging down there. And it flows and moves and it dances as the horse dances.
Right. And what about your 7-foot?
Well, these are just all day, every days. These are riding around the paddock. These are 7-footers. These are the size, the length of rein that I like to ride in. I ride around the paddock. I can gather them up if I need to gallop. I can ride along and send a text message and not pay any attention, and I don't drop them.
And you can get on the bit and have lots of control.
Lots of control. The same thing, each thing. My horses are long. I don't ride gathered up very, very rarely unless I've got to. And I've still got plenty of length because by the time I am gathered up, I'm up out of the saddle anyway. So that foot, I come up a foot, or I'm not. Yeah, sort of down here, but. And then, like Kirsty was saying, that we sell a lot of 6-footers. Are they the most popular, Kirst? Really? I would have said this. I'd challenge that. What's the most popular, 6 or 7?
6.
Folks, I'd challenge that. I think maybe that's my preference, though, but I'd say 7 are most popular. But that might be me. I'm not really reading the data like these two. The 6-footers, then, I guess you need to ring some of our customers and say, why do you all like the 6-footers? But I'm guessing, given the majority of our customers are camp drafters, I would say that the reason they like the 6-footers is because they are up on the bit and they are riding control. And yeah, if I was competing in a competition, so if I was competing in a camp draft, I would like a 6-foot rein, which makes sense. And because I'd be hanging on up here a little bit, right? But my weight doesn't start until about 700 mil in here, 600 mil, and it's closer in the 6-footers. Or is it 5, 6, and 7s, Jimmy? 500, 600, and 700. So 500 up for your 6-footers, and 700 up for your 7-footers, and 800 up. So what I'm saying there is your handhold that I've put into the rein, which is why you buy Angus Barrett reins and not some imported reins.
It's because you ate them.
Because I wait them. Because I want to do. I get the good leather, which is imported. It's a Herman Oak leather. And that's because Herman Oak, Shep Herman there in St. Louis makes the bloody good harness leather. And harness leather wasn't made for cutters. We're not allowed to talk about the leather. Harness leather was made, folks, for the harnesses in the cavalry. But we can talk about the leather later. Anyway, 6 footers, 7 footers, 8 footers. I highly recommend you get one of each if you don't know what you're looking for. Stay cool.